everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today, Bancroft being joined once again by Jimmy as we go over another deck profile. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click. They're there for a reason. But Jimmy,
click the buttons.
I mean, I feel like it's nice.
Don't click the buttons. Don't let Bancroft pity you.
Debating about editing that part out. But yeah, let's take it away.
Alright, so I played Starter Vegeta, SSB Vegeta, Blue Vegeta, whatever the hell you want to call it. I've called this Blue Vegeta too many times. People go, you're playing SS4 Vegeta? And I have to explain to them, no, I'm playing the fucking starter deck. Please listen. But this leader, really fun. It made a couple waves when it was announced, but really didn't see a lot of people playing it. And then I ran into a couple Vegetas at Gen Con, and those were really, really fun matchups, and it looked like a blast to play, so I decided I would build my own variant of it. So, front side, really great. Draw one card, gain +5, so you can really hold your Awaken for quite a while if you need to. And the Awaken is when your life is at 4 or less, or you have a specified cost 2 Unison. You can switch 2 of your energy to active mode, and then if you have the Kaba Unison in play, you can add a marker to it, which is pretty cool. Need Awaken, and then on the back side it is draw 1 and then choose one of your specified 2 Unisons with no keyword skills, and it gains double strike. Then the Spirit Boost, which is not all that great. It's if your opponent attacks your Unison, you can Spirit Boost 1, negate the attack, and then give that card 6,000 power for the turn. So it'll keep people off your Unison if they really want to deal with it, but to be honest, the Unison is kind of a red herring in this deck because your battle cards are better than the double strike on your Unison. So I kind of want my opponent to attack into my Unison. That's the leader. Going into the Unison spread, run 4 of the Piccolo. I don't know what happened to my other 2 SPRs, so I'm over here looking like a poor kid. The auto is what makes this Unison ridiculous. If your opponent activates a counter, you just blow up a 15k, which is really, really good. And then the activate main is draw 1. The -2, I've never really done it, but you choose one of your battle cards, place it in the drop area, and then you blow up battle cards on your opponent's field equal to that amount of power. And then you gain Rejuvenate, which, again, I never do it in this deck. You can if you want to, but most of the time you just want to see more cards in your hand. And as our secondary Unison, we do run the Kaba that comes with the starter deck. The limit 1 auto is pretty solid. If he's placed in the drop area during your opponent's turn, or I think it's during your opponent's turn, it might be both. Yeah, it's just when it's placed in the drop area from the Unison area, your leader card gains +5. So it just gives you a beam, which is nice. And then the +1, it just negs a battle card or Unison by 10, which is fantastic in stuff like Helku, where they have the Android 18. That's under 10,000. Any other 10,000 Unison it's really good against. Then the -6 rarely happens, but it can. If you make it to turn 5, you can just board slam this guy for 5 +1 and then pass. And then if your opponent attacks, you -6 and just deal 1 damage to them, which is really, really good. Rarely happens, but if it does, it does. Looking at the draw engine of the deck, we run 4 of the 1-drop Gohan. This has actually become a really popular draw engine, and I really like it as well. So on play, you search top 5, add a 4 or less U7 or a specified cost 2 Unison, and then auto limit 1 when you combo with a skillless battle card. You draw 1 card, and of course we run some U7 skilllesses just to get the draw, and then also run the Android 18 that when it's comboed alongside a skillless, you draw an additional card. So essentially you get a 10k combo and they replace themselves in your hand, which is fantastic, and also helps you put out your main offense package, which is the Divine Presence Goku. It's deflect, dual attack, permanent. It cannot be removed by skills during your turn. So this card, it's coming out. There's no ways around it because of the deflect. If they charismatic villain, can't remove it. If they do anything, it just cannot be removed during your turn. Yellow can rest it, which is probably the worst thing that can happen to this guy. But the auto on attack, you add a skillless to your hand from your deck and gain +5. And then the activate battle is basically just ghetto arrival. If you have 2 red cards in your combo area, you can pay 2, play this guy, and give one of your red battle cards +5,000. So he is a target for that. So you can just put him at 30,000 and swing twice with him for 2 energy. which Dark Broly laughs at that, but it's still really, really good. And then we also run 2 of the Gohans to go along with this. Same thing, Ghetto Arrival, 1 energy, and then you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, gets -10. So you really want to do this on your opponent's turn, just, you know, to possibly combo out of 1 attack and then -10 on another one to make it, you know, not worth attacking. Or if you happen to have your Kaba Unison, you can neg something 10 and then blow it out with this guy. But most of the time, if you just have an extra energy on your Awakening turn and you're already playing this guy out, you just go ahead and pay the additional to put this guy on the board to have more offense. Keeping in theme with comboing, run 2 of the Fairweather themed Friezas. Double Strike unique auto at the end of the battle, which you come with this card. If you have specified 2-cost Unison, which you should, pay 2, play this guy, and then if your opponent activates a counter, you neg something 30,000, ignoring barrier, which is insanely good. Bancroft was a dickhead and stole this with heroines. To be honest, actually, our homie Jake Squared, new Jake, not the Jake you know on this channel, also stole this with heroines. So maybe this is just like a heroine's bait. You just throw this out here and you get their secret rare out of their hand early. But this card's fantastic if it sticks around. Just because it's more punishment on top of already being punished by the Piccolo Unison. It really makes your opponent think twice about countering attacks. Run 2 of these Gokus. I'm thinking about taking this down to 1 because it's fantastic in some matchups and not so much in others. So any deck that sends the card to the warp, bottom of the deck, back to the hand, this is not that fantastic, but it's a deflect, double strike, dual attack, permanent. If this card is in rest mode alongside a specified 2 Unison, this card and your leader card gain +11, which is just insane. It might as well, or not 11, 1,000. I don't know why I said 11. But it might as well just be 5k because your opponent's going to have to be comboing up on top of that just to get out of the, or just to be able to attack and deal damage with 15ks, which decks like Toa with the new SS4, it's not that fantastic against, but any deck that spams 15ks, this is really good. And plus, you know, double strike, dual attack's nothing to laugh at. But the auto is what makes it good. It's limit 1, spirit boost 1. If this card is placed in the drop area from the battle area, you just play it right back out. So stuff like Charismatic Villain can get around deflect, but this guy is just coming out right back out. So he's really solid, but in certain matchups, like the blue matchup, it's not that good. One of King Piccolo, only because he's limited, double striker, free play, really good. I run 2 of the Whis from the, what was it, the Unison expansion box. This is just a worse Gohan because it does your top 5 search for a U7 or a specified 2-cost Unison. If your leader card's Vegeta, it becomes a 1-drop, but you don't get the draw on comboing a skillless. So if you have this and Gohan in your hand, you want to board the Gohan over Whis. You do have the option to neg your leader by 5 and then give +5 to Whis, and maybe some hedge case scenarios where they have a Unison that's 10k and you already swung with your leader, you might drop this, give it +10k, and then swing into the Unison. But that rarely, if ever, comes up. This is usually the first card to get sided out right next to the 4-drop Goku, the non-UI Goku, just because it's worse than the Gohan. But you need consistency with this deck, so that's why it's in here. For our negate package, run 3, testing the op. These cards are growing on me more every day. There might have been actually, I think, a gameplay video with me on Fluff on commentary where I said these cards are not good. Please don't dig that up and hold it against me, but these cards are insane. If your life is at 5 or less, you just spawn a Cyberman token, and of course, I do run a Cyberman token. Shut the fuck up, Bancroft. But your leader puts yourself at 5 on Awakening if you awaken early. So this card's just it just feels built for the deck. And late game, it's really good because you can tap out on offense, overextend, and then be able to have some sort of defense. Next up, 1 Violent Ray. So I was running this at a higher number, but I found that a lot of the times that I would want to play like my Gohan and neg something, it would just make it so they can attack with it under Violent Rays. So I just put it down to a 1 of, and it feels fine there. When I see it, I see it. I side another one. 2 Imposing Presence, only because you can't activate more than 1 in a turn. Otherwise, he would be at a 4 of. But fantastic against wide decks. Was really good against AOD. Even though like AOD can still has a fat hand that they can combo with, and it doesn't really matter. But still really good. Decent Floodgate. And then 2 Difference of Status. So I don't remember who gave me this tech. It was somebody on Untap one night that was playing this alongside the Kaba Unison, and they're like, it's insanely good, and this is why. And I really liked it, so I decided to throw it in this list. But with the Kaba Unison, it has an auto that's when placed in the drop area, it gives you their card plus 5k for the turn. So I was swinging with, like, you know, I was playing Invoker, so I would swing with one of the big boys. He would test, or difference of status, remove all the markers off of his Unison, and then give his leader card plus 5, and then neg out whatever I was attacking with. And I was like, that is surprisingly good. I mean, it is a steep cost because you have to give up a Unison, but at that late in the game, it's not that big of a deal. So I really like that. And also, it's basically just a 5k combo for free, if anything else, if you don't have another counterattack, because it just negs the card 5 to begin with, without having to Spirit Boost. So it's pretty solid. It's never a dead card. 2 Yamcha. This card's duty. It is getting slightly better because every single deck plays cards by skill, so you can call this in window 2, but I found that a lot of times I'd rather just go, I just want to play this in window 1 and just kill the card coming in. But that's the only reason it's at a 2 of. In something like Bulma, I would run this at a 4 of just because it becomes a blocker in play. But when it happens, he's good. When it's not, he's just really bad. But as a better counterplay, run Omen of Awakening. If your leader card is red, you can put a life in the drop area and basically Denial of Hope. And then if you have a specified 2-cost Unison, he has a 1-drop. So basically just a 1-drop Denial of Hope. You do have to crit a life, but it's worth it in some situations just to deal with a 20k. And it's better than Yamcha. For our super combo spread, I'll make it really confusing.
What the hell? I thought you were playing 2-2.
No. So, I run 2 of the Raditz just because Raditz quality super combo. I run 1 of the Backbone of Universe 7 because you can use the super combo at 5 life. So if you awaken, you put yourself at 5, and then if your opponent's like, oh, I'm going to hit him with this big double strike real quick, you can just combo out and, you know, surprise him with a 5 life super combo. And then 1 TN, just because both of these are also searchable off of the Gohan and Whis. But I run the 1 TN because I was running into some situations like with the Dragon Fist Goku, where it says you cannot activate battle card skills during its attack, and you can combo this and get the 1 plus 10k without having to have the you know, the skill to give it that. But also I like having the multiple different artworks and different super combos because I had used 3 super combos in a match, and I comboed this one. And my opponent's like, "Oh, you're already using your first super combo?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, yeah. It's not like all the other ones are in the drop already."
I was hoping you would say you chose the TM because you can have 2 of the special hollows of the Gokus.
I do actually, but one of them's in my U7 deck, and I have it double sleeved, or my Invoker deck, and I don't want to take it apart.
Fair.
Or I don't want to try to get those sleeves out. Vegeta Royal Evolution. This card actually might go up to a 2 of. I might remove the 4-drop Goku to add this guy in. So during your turn, after you combo with this card in the battle, you can tap 1, restand your leader, restand your leader, give it plus 5,000, and you can't activate skills on it. But this was like really good as a surprise play because this card has not been seen a lot. So most people will sit on top of like their counter or whatever and be ready to deal with another card you're going to play. But then you just combo this guy, and then they tap the 1 to restand the leader, and they can't do anything about that. And then you get that 20k attack on your leader, you can combo up and throw a choppa or something like that on it. Or well, you can't activate the skills, but still. It's really solid, and then you can just activate battle to neg something 10k, which never ever comes up. It might come up, but never in any match that I played it in. 1 crown, 1 death ball, because it's just really good. It's basically just a 1-cost 25k combo at your leader, at your opponent's leader. So I really enjoy this card. I found that it was too cloggy in some situations, so I just threw it down to 1. Of course, we got to run the French Champa, of course. I mean, the rest of the deck's not all high rarity, so I went with a non-shiny, but this one's better than shinies. This card also gives you a leader card triple strike if you didn't know. 1 Tien Shinhan Desperate Multiform. So, again, it was the same dude on Untapped that was like telling me about this card. And he was running it at a 4 of. I think 4 of's a little too much. But it's a 1-drop cantrip, which is nice. But then when you combo with it, you tap 2, and you can play up to 4 multiform tokens. Or play 4 multiform tokens that are all 10k and have 5k combo. Which, essentially, you pay 2 for 20k of combo power, which is the equivalent of just comboing 2 1-cost 10ks. But you can spread them out across multiple battle cards. So he was actually playing a Bardock Crew variant of this deck as well, and he said that this card was the key to the blue matchup, because the opponent just throws a bean on their leader, and then all of your 15ks are now, you know, worthless pretty much. So he was comboing this, giving the 4 multiform tokens. Then when the opponent beans, he would just start comboing off the multiforms, which is really, really solid. I've been impressed with this deck slightly, and of course, for multiform tokens, you have to run the guy that is always multiform. Just run all the doctors, just to go in theme with the rest of your tokens. I kind of actually wanted to run this out of 4 of just so I can use my tokens more often, but he's just better as a 1-of, at least in my opinion. You could probably take this out if you don't have him. Don't really worry about it. It's not super necessary for this variant, but I think for a Bardock Crew variant, this card is very, very potent. And then it's good as a secret rare, so that's in my secret rare slot. Mainly because I forgot to put my secret rare in. But since Bancroft's leaning back, he's trying to end the video. But I was going to share something that I was working on a little bit that I ended up just giving up on. Not because I didn't like it, but just because I didn't have enough time to really perfect it. And I knew this one was solid because I've been testing it. But a little blast from the past, we run a Chain Attack Trunks package. So this is just an alternate idea that you can take and run with this deck if you're so interested. So of course you run the Intense Spike Power Trunks, which will evolve into Chain Attack Trunks. And the Chain Attack Trunks plays a 15k body from your hand. And the target that I've been using is Majin Buu the Reincarnator. So this card come out in Draft Box 4 Dragon Ball. And he plays a 3-drop from your drop area. And then he also does specify what 3-drop. So any 3-drop you can think of, this guy can play from the drop area. I know some people ran this in early Invoker list to play out the Vegeta a turn early. They would just combo it off or get it in the drop area in some way. Or late game, if they didn't want to, if they didn't have one in hand, they would use Majin Buu the Reincarnated plus Chain Attack to put it out. Which I felt was really slow, so I don't think it really caught on. But I do think now, with the amount of really, really good 3-drops in the game, this card can become a little bit more valuable. This is very weak to counterplay, obviously. I think that's the main reason that Chain Attack Trunks has fallen out of favor. But it's still a fairly solid package if you can get it to go off. And of course, like, targets would be the Fearless Pan to give everything double strike, which theoretically this package could kill on turn 2 if your opponent falls asleep. But It's a fun package. I just couldn't get the ratios correct to make it run well. I was usually just like stalling out to turn 6 and then just dying and never doing anything. So that's the reason that I didn't play it in this package. If you want to run with it, go ahead. And also, I would swap out the Android 18s for the Android 17, just because he's a 3-drop that you can play off of the Majin Buu the Reincarnator, and he's a blocker that when he activates blocker, he negs something 15k. And the only reason that I chose the Android 18 over this guy is because Android 18 is a 2-drop that if I have to desperate play it, I can. And also I had shinies of the 18. So if you do play this package, please share a list to me, because I'm very interested in seeing what you guys can come up with. Because I think this could be very potent. I just don't want to put the time to figure it out. So,
well, that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Jimmy, great deck and fun deck?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I think it could be very competitive. I need a little bit more practice with it. This was the first time I played it with actual cards. I played it on Untap, and people like to say that Untap is just as good as playing with real cards, but I don't think so.
Nothing beats that real feeling.
No, nothing beats that.
But with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below and on the screen. And like always, read paper.
Don't read.
Don't mess up
Reading's
your
for losers.
plays. And Jimmy, shut the fuck up.
What?